To some, they are freedom fighters. To others, they are terrorists. But behind the word Hamas is a history soaked in blood, faith, and defiance. This is not just a name, it's a movement born in exile, built in shadow, and burning in confrontation. Welcome back to Timeless America, the channel where we peel back the layers of history, conflict, and identity shaping our world. Today, we journey into one of the most polarizing and misunderstood movements of our time, Hamas. Whether you see them as resistance or rebellion, as protectors or provocateurs, Hamas has left an indelible mark on the modern Middle East. They've fought wars, launched rockets, and faced relentless siege. But how did it all begin? Who funds them? What drives them? And why do they continue to confront one of the strongest militaries on earth? Grab a seat. This isn't just a political story. It's a human one. The roots, born from occupation, the story of Hamas begins in the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, in the dust of decades of displacement and dispossession. In 1987, during the First Intifada, a Palestinian uprising against Israeli rule, Hamas was officially formed. But its ideological roots stretch back further, to the Muslim Brotherhood of Egypt. Frustrated by the lack of progress from secular Palestinian factions like the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, Hamas emerged with a religious flavor combining Islamic principles with militant resistance. Their goal was clear: end the Israeli occupation and establish an Islamic state in historic Palestine. But Hamas wasn't just about warfare. From the start, it built networks of social services, schools, clinics, and mosques, especially in Gaza. In a place where governments failed, Hamas filled the void. Bread and bullets came from the same hand. To understand Hamas is to understand desperation weaponized. Funding the fight. A web of cash and causes. How does a group like Hamas survive? How does it launch rockets, pay salaries, and operate under blockade? Funding comes from a complex and controversial network. Historically, donations from the Palestinian diaspora, sympathetic charities, and Islamic NGOs across the Middle East played a role. Wealthy individuals in the Gulf, especially Qatar, have provided support, sometimes openly, sometimes discreetly. Iran, despite theological differences, has also become a significant backer, supplying training, weapons, and financial aid. Then, there's the underground economy. Smuggling tunnels between Gaza and Egypt became arteries of survival, bringing in goods, weapons, and funds. These tunnels, now mostly destroyed by Egypt, once generated millions in taxes for Hamas. Critics call it a terrorist economy. Supporters call it survival under siege. But one thing is certain: Hamas thrives in chaos. The more Gaza suffers, the more legitimacy it gains among Palestinians who feel abandoned by the world. Fire and fury. The confrontation with Israel-Hamas doesn't negotiate in whispers. It fights in fire. The group's military wing, the Izz ad-Din al-Qassam Brigades, has launched thousands of rockets into Israeli territory, from homemade Qassam rockets to longer-range Iranian-supplied ones. In 2006, Hamas shocked the world by winning Palestinian parliamentary elections, defeating Fatah, and splitting the Palestinian Authority. A year later, it violently took control of Gaza and has ruled it since. Israel responded with blockades, labeling Gaza a hostile territory. The result? A humanitarian crisis of epic proportions. And then came the wars. 2009, Operation Cast. Lead, over 2,400 Palestinians killed. 12, Operation Pillar of Defense. 2014, Operation Protective Edge, one of the deadliest wars. Entire neighborhoods in Gaza reduced to rubble. 2021, Sheikh Jarrah al-Aqsa clashes. Rockets rained over Tel Aviv. Israeli airstrikes leveled high-rise buildings in Gaza. the death toll, civilians on both sides, children buried beneath cement, and fear. For every Israeli soldier killed, dozens of Palestinian civilians died. And yet, Hamas remains defiant. Its leaders say, "We are not fighting to die. We are dying to live." Support for Palestine. Resistance or reign? In Gaza, Hamas is more than a government. It is a symbol. For many Palestinians, especially in refugee camps, it represents the only group willing to fight back. While Fatah negotiates, Hamas resists. While the world offers aid, Hamas offers rockets. Some see this as madness, others as the only path, left when diplomacy fails. But it's not all support. Many Palestinians resent Hamas for its authoritarian rule, crackdowns on dissent, and militarization of Gaza. Living under Hamas is not easy, and criticism often comes with consequences. Still, in moments of Israeli aggression, even critics unite behind the green flags. Pain is a powerful unifier. America's role and global reactions to the United States, Hamas is a designated terrorist organization. Washington supports Israel with billions in military aid, including the Iron Dome, which intercepts Hamas rockets. U.S. presidents, from Bush to Biden, have backed Israel's right to defend itself, while calling Hamas's attacks indiscriminate and unjustifiable. But the tide is slowly shifting. With the rise of social media, the Palestinian narrative is breaking through. Images of children killed in airstrikes, hospitals bombed, and families shattered have sparked outrage, especially among young Americans. Movements like Free Palestine and protests from college campuses to Capitol Hill are forcing conversations. Even U.S. lawmakers like Bernie Sanders and Rashida Tlaib are questioning the unconditional support for Israel. The world is watching, and America's role is under the microscope. The human cost behind every airstrike, every rocket, every checkpoint. There is a child, a mother, a dream lost. This is not a war of equals. It's a conflict between occupation and resistance, between a people under siege and a military superpower. Hamas is not the full picture, but it's part of a story that began in 1948 with a Nakba, a catastrophe, and continues today in ashes and silence. This was the story of Hamas, not to glorify, not to vilify, but to understand. Because without understanding, there is no progress. If you found this story compelling, emotional, or eye-opening, hit that like button, subscribe to Timeless America, and share this video. Help us unravel the truths the mainstream won't touch. Until next time, stay bold, stay aware, stay human.